Good morning, how we doing today? This is James Sweeney, aka SplitSuit. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we'll review a hand sent in by Matt. Matt, thank you so much for sending this in. This is from Live12, a hand with a straddle that gets a little bit interesting with pocket kings. So without further ado, let's check it out and see what we should be doing here. Now this hand has a lot of relevant information and dynamics at play, and Matt sent in a very long write-up with it. So the first bit of information is this. First of all, villain didn't min raise, it was his first hand at the table and he straddled. Also, what he said when he sat down seemed relevant. He sat with the max 250 at the 1-2 game in my casino and immediately asked me if I could color down his blacks that he had in his pocket. He made a big show of it, and he seemed fishy already. Great, good information for us to have. In this situation, Hero decides to open to 16 early position, and 16 against a $4 straddle is okay. I'd probably just make it 20, even if the normal raise in this game isn't necessarily 5x. Straddle pots can create some really cool dynamics, and because of that, I'd probably go just a pinch larger. Now we do end up getting called by the calling station, and Matt in the write-up also says this. The calling station in late position came along, and I've been watching his hands all night and trying to get involved with him. He always called down top pair, no matter the board texture, and I saw him raise a set once and a flush once, and he's bought in 4 times to this point. So really good information. So we end up getting a call from villain as well, go 3-way to the flop, comes like this, and villain leads out for 25. Now in the write-up, Matt says this. I didn't think he would lead with a jack, although I don't know anything about him, and I figured if the station behind me had a jack, he would likely raise, but he would also likely call if he caught a queen. So talking about the calling station first, I 100% agree with you. I think that if the calling station is just calling down, there's a lot of draws, there's a lot of queen X, and based upon the information you gave earlier, right gets very sticky with top pair, or probably lots of pairs, and if he decides to raise, he has raised with big hands in the past. So if the calling station raises at any point in this hand, it is going to totally suck, but he's also probably turning himself totally face up, so it makes it nice and easy. If the calling station continues calling, you are in great shape. Now, villain, the guy who's leading over here, I don't think that we can say comfortably that he doesn't have a jack, right? We don't really know much about him. He straddled, it's his first hand at the table, made a big show of buying in. I don't know if he's great, I don't know if he's gamblery, I don't know what the heck's going on here, so I don't want to overly kind of narrow in his range and say that he would never have a jack here. I think he could have a jack, I think he could have a queen, I think he could have various draws, king 10, 10, 9, those kind of things, and he could even just be doing this with pocket sevens that he just doesn't know what the heck to do with it. So because of that, I don't want to go so narrow with their range. I'm just looking at this situation as a 4.5 SPR pot against villain, and in those kind of situations, I'm just thinking, okay, it's not an automatic stack off with overpairs, but I'm kind of in that gray zone, not 100% sure what I'm going to do, but definitely going to be calling the flop and making some decisions on turns and rivers, rather than ever thinking about folding here, and I don't really see much reason to raise in this situation. Let's let the calling station come along as well. So that's exactly what we do. Turn is the 8 of hearts, and we face another bet from villain. Now in the write-up, Matt says the 8 on the turn is disastrous for me, and I have the calling station on a queen here. Villain's bet sizing seemed like he was setting himself up for a river shove, and he gave me decent calling odds. I believe there are implied odds here, as I'm certain the station is going to flat as well, so I decide to flat. So I'm totally fine with flatting here, and I definitely get your point about it looking like villain's setting up for river shoves, because even if we were to fold here, villain, if he decides to shove on the river, we're still getting a pretty good price, and yeah, it's kind of just going to be a spot where we have to think about, do we want to commit it or not? But let's be honest, any bet that villain chose here is going to be doing that. Whether he bets something smaller like 50 or something bigger like 100, any bet size is going to be doing that. So I agree with you, the 8 is not great, and it's not great because 10-9 got there, and we do have pocket kings, which naturally blocks out the king 10 draw, and this is kind of getting into a suck spot. But again, I don't think that we can say villain doesn't have a jack here. I think he could certainly have a jack. He could have a made boat with queen jack. He could have a jack with a straight draw like jack 10, jack 9. I think all of those hands make a lot of sense given the way the whole hand is played out. And we do have kind of a bit of bad news where the calling station, yes, likely has a queen or has a pocket pair that they decide to call the flop with, like maybe pocket 6s or 7s or 5s or whatever the heck it is. And the calling station could also have 10-9. So we're in a situation here where there could be some natural blocking, right? If the calling station has queen X, it makes it less likely that villain has queen X, which means what? That villain probably has a slightly higher density then of jack X, of 10-9, of those kind of things. And that does kind of suck for us. But again, we're still kind of dealing with an unknown that straddled. And because it's a straddle pot, we didn't start this hand super deep, right? The effective stacks against villain preflop, because the straddle was on, is really only 62 big blinds, give or take. So my real question to myself is, do I fold overpairs when stack sizes start to get like that, or effective stack sizes get like that? And typically my answer is no. And can I give villain only a range that's super nutted, or do they start having extra combos, be it overvalued queen X, be it king 10, be it ace 10, be it anything like that? Can I add extra combos into the range? And I think against villain, I definitely have to, right? I don't think I can just narrow villain in at only having a nuttish range here. So because of that, I definitely want to call. I want to call and let the coin station come along as well. And again, if they have 10-9 or slow played jack, I think they're definitely going to raise at this point. It's going to be super easy to play against the coin station. And against villain on the river, well, we're just going to have to make some decisions and see what happens. It's one of those where, I'm probably not getting sticky on a 10 or a 9, but if it comes more brickish, yeah, I'm probably going to end up giving action and going from there. So I'm creating that plan. I'm being proactive in the thought process. But again, I don't want to narrow villain in on only the nuts here. Can villain have nuttish hands here? You betcha. Do I think it dominates the entire range? Not really. So coin station calls as well. Brick 3 on the river. Villain decides to jam, and here we are. And the final bit of information from Matt is that villain barely even waited for the river card before tossing in a red and saying all in very confidently. I thought about this call for a while. So Matt, I don't blame you for taking a little bit of time, replaying this hand in your head, thinking about this spot before you just throw in chips one way or the other. I appreciate that. Don't take 8 or 9 minutes, but if it takes you 30 or 60 seconds, just replay the hand, take your time for a moment, and make sure you're on the right track here. So the way that I would think about this is very simple. Can villain have monster hands? Yes. Can villain have some hands that we beat? I think so, and that is definitely going to factor in. I don't think I'm just against the nuts when villain decides to make this play. If he were bluffing, I think he would also do this confident all-in thing as well. I don't think that this is just indicating the nuts. And a very important thing and comment to make here, just because I know it gets overlooked a lot of the time, is remember, you can make the most plus EV play, and it's not going to make you money 100% of the time. It's not going to have a 100% success rate, right? In the situation, we're going to win sometimes, we're going to lose sometimes, and as long as the EV says, hey, this is going to be positive in the long run, you should be giving action. If it says, no, you're going to be losing money in the long run, then don't give action. It's that simple. Don't overthink this spot and say, if I lost, I'm an idiot, or if I win, I'm the best player in the world. Get that out of your head immediately. All that matters here is this good or is this bad enough at the time? Now, here's the honest truth. Given the pot odds, you need to be good here 27% of the time, but I'd actually say it's a little bit less than that, actually quite a bit less than that, because the calling station is most likely going to continue as well. The calling station almost certainly doesn't have a jack or 10-9 or pocket 8s, because if they had that, they probably would have raised on either the flop or turn, so I kind of take a lot of, if not all of those combos out of there, and I think the calling station is very, very pinned at queen X or possibly king 10, which we block out, and of course that's not giving action one way or the other. So I don't need to be good as often because I'm getting an even better price because they're continuing with $159, a very large chunk, and they're never or very rarely going to be winning that pot. So really my major question is, do I win this often enough against villain? And I think so, right? Can villain have jack X? Yep. 10-9? Yep. Weird pocket 8s? Yep. But I don't think they have kings plus, I don't think they have pocket queens, I don't think they have pocket jacks, and I think they can also have some funky stuff because, well, they came here to gamble, it looks like, based upon what they've done so far. And can I say that this 159 shove is only the nuts? Definitely not. And any extra combo we add into their range, we do better and better against. Whether it's queen X, whether it's pure bluffs, whatever it is, we're doing just fine. So because of that, I don't think I'm going to fold here. So my real question is, do I want to call or do I want to shove? And I actually really like shoving here because we are pinning the calling station so heavily on queen X. And clearly if they have king 10, they're never giving action whether we call or shove here. If we just decide to shove, I think Queen X comes along, right? There's going to be a heap in the middle. They only have to call 250 more. They're already stuck 4 buy-ins. They never ever fold top pair. Right? This is all the information we've been given already. I think we can get the $100 rebate the times we're wrong against villain and we shove here and the calling station calls. And I think we just make more money in general, whether we win this pot or just win the side pot. I think this is going to be way profitable to shove. I don't think the calling station is going to give 159 action any differently than 249 action. And as such, I'd really like to see this be a shove rather than just a call. I think calling is okay, but I think given the exact information given in this hand, I'd really like to see Hero shove it in, get the call from calling station, and end up shipping an even bigger pot in this spot. So as it rolls out, villain has Queen 8, calling station has Queen Deuce, lol, not too shocking from the calling station, and we end up winning a nice one. But again, the question of are we good here often enough is still very, very important. But given kind of the way this whole hand rolled out, given who villain is, given who the calling station is, it's actually a pretty interesting river situation, but one that when you really slow down and think about it, you can find that extra money against the calling station rather than leaving them with an extra 90 bucks that realistically should have been yours. And that is going to wrap it up for this video. Matt, thank you so much for sending this hand in. Hopefully this helps you the next time you find yourself in a similar situation. And thank you so much for watching this. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you have any comments or questions, please don't hesitate to let me know in the comments down below. And if you're looking for your next step today, I would definitely suggest checking out the live workbook if you haven't already. This workbook lays out tons of exercises that will help you look at live hands in more detail using the right process and help you work on your hand reading skills on a step-by-step, range-by-range basis. It will also help you construct your own ranges, think in terms of range advantage, and all sorts of important things that are helpful whether you're just playing 1-2 now or you're working on moving up to 5-10. If you're interested, check it out today at splitsuit.com/workbook and be sure to use the code YouTube to save 10 bucks off any edition that you choose. Again, if you need anything at all, please don't hesitate to let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you back soon with a brand new video, and in the meantime, good luck out there and happy grinding.